Welcome back, My Placers, to another lightning fast tutorial. Today we're going to take a look at how to create a group. You've probably spent your time in My Place, you've already joined a couple groups, but we really want you to be able to create your own groups for whatever you may need. So I've already logged in using our Google login. I'm going to click over to the Collaboratorium, and then under the Collaboratorium page, this should look fairly familiar, but we all know how to search for groups. If we click here, we can enter the name of our groups or a group that we need to join. But today we're going to click here at Create a Group. When we click there at Create a Group, this is what we have as our front page. It asks for our group name, access, description, all of those sorts of things, and then down here are Google resource links. We'll talk about the Google resource links in another tutorial, but for today, let's concentrate on all of these pieces here. So first, let's start with the group name. Today, I'm going to name my group Dean My Place Test Group. Now, you'll notice that I don't have any punctuation within there. Here's a couple things to remember about group names. One, the system does not allow for two groups with the same name, so they all have to be unique. Two, check your speller before saving. Once a group is named, you don't change the name. Changing the name breaks the connection to the Google shared tool, so we want to make sure that we really do make sure that we go over and make sure that our spelling's correct in what we want to name it. And third, do not use punctuation in the group name other than an underscore, a dash, or an apostrophe. When you create the group name, the system creates an email address, which I'll show you later, until that group, unique to that group name. So punctuation marks can break that email address, and then it won't work for sharing with your Google tools. So I'll use parentheses, ampersands, colons, etc. And then once we get down to pictures, I'll give you another little quick tip and hint. So I place in there Dean My Place Test Group, and then we talk about access. There are two types of access we have. We have a public access and a private access. Private access means that somebody will have to request to enter your group, and that you as a group creator will control whether that person is allowed access or not. Public means that anybody that happens to be in My Place will be able to join the group. I'm going to keep mine public for now. Then there's a quick description. The description is merely what the group is for. So this is a testing group for demos and tutorials. There's also a purpose. Now, if you want to know the difference between the two, or you want a hint as to them, you see these question marks here, you can place those. The purpose for the formation of the group, it gives you a little helper text, right? So the purpose for this group is to explore group options within My Place. Topics, you can add topics like what it's about, so if it's an ELA group or if it's a tech group or any of those things, you don't have to add those. There's no red asterisk next to it. So now we're down to our group image. Now, one thing to remember about the group image is that the group image needs to be 100 pixels by 100 pixels. No larger than that, please, because then you'll end up with a choppy, it'll chop it off where it needs to chop it off, or it won't upload the whole thing. So what I'm going to do is I've already downloaded something just for this, but I click on choose a file, and so I can either see what my server files are. If I have the URL, I can add it there, but I'm going to upload a file in this case. Hit choose the file, and I'm going to take a look through my stuff. This is the picture I want to use today. I'm going to use the Hitchhikers. I'm going to name it something. I'm just going to name it HH for now. And then I'm going to upload this file. Now, you do want to be careful about copyright. In this case, this is not an official Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but rather a vector that somebody else made. Let me take a look, and everything looks good. Like I said before, we'll get to the Google resources and links and how to add those in a different tutorial. I'll hit my Save Changes. And my group is created under the name Dean My Place Test Group. You'll notice that over here in this block we'll have our Google Apps once we go into our next tutorial to get those. We have our navigation system and we have our administration system. And then we have our group administration. And there's some interesting things within this block that I want to show you very quickly. The first one is the edit configuration. Once you edit your configuration, this is where we'll go again. You'll see that the name is still here. We can change the access whether we want public or private. So if the group was public and you're finding that you don't like it to be public, you can change it to private. Or if your group is private and you see the need to change it to public, you can do so here. You can change the logo for your group. And then down here, you get your Google resources again. But what I want to highlight is I want to highlight this area right here, this group email. So this is a thing that's going to allow us to go back in and add our calendar, our Drive, our Hangouts, and our YouTube. As I said before, each group, as it's created, creates a unique email within Google Groups itself so that you can use it for sharing. So in this case, this is our group email that we will use. And we'll come back to that in a different tutorial. So I'm just going to save the changes even though I didn't make any. And then we're going to come back down to this group administration block. Now, here we can manage our members. We can see who's in. Nobody's in currently except for myself. We can process requests. This is where we would go if we had people, if we had a private group and we wanted to allow people in or not in. This is where we would go to take care of that. We have a way to send a message to the entire group. If there was a course that was associated to this group, we would be able to see it here. We can also click here, and it will give us the forum settings and all of those other pieces. We can add things like polls, and I'll show you how to do that in a different tutorial. There is a way to leave the group. So leaving the group this is an important feature to take a look at. I'm not going to click on it because I'm the group creator. But if you're just a member of a group, there's no problem in leaving a group. Just click this and you'll be taken out of the group. But if you're a group creator, don't leave your own group. If you do, it complicates handing the reins to someone else. And if you want to quit your own group and name an alternative group administrator, you can contact Sue Kersey for assistance. But if you leave the group and you're the only group administrator, it sets the group adrift, and it is very hard for us here at the MyPlace Labs to go back and add somebody to it at a later point. So the other section that we have is we have a forum section here. And as a group administrator, you can take a look at the forums. You can also, I just docked it over here. So sometimes you'll hit this box right here, and it'll end up getting docked on the side over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to undock it so that it's there. And you can open up this area in the forum administration block, or the forum administration block will allow you, let me go to the forums, I'll show you very quickly. Forum administration block allows us to edit our settings and look at our subscription settings. So what we often say is that in your subscription settings, what you want to set up is you want to recommend setting is auto subscription. It automatically subscribes everyone to the group in the forum. But they can unsubscribe themselves if they so choose. So if you don't touch it, that's what it'll do. If you do want to touch it, you can come in here and edit the settings and handle it that way. Well, that's pretty much the lowdown on blocks at a first run. Come back later and we'll have another tutorial up about adding the very important Google Apps and how that'll work. So again, thank you very much, and we'll see you hanging around MyPlace.